Hello, good morning. So this is going to be a full day boondocking off-grid. Oh, I have my art and the cactus. Oh, you can see my Starlink. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyways, this is going to be how much power I use while I am boondocking. So if you guys don't know what boondocking is and this is something new for you, it means that you don't have any power, water, or sewer hookups. I just upgraded to a composting toilet, so I basically am good off-grid, especially with my Bluetti. Today we're specifically going to focus on the newest Bluetti, the AC200L, and it just makes things so much easier for me while I am boondocking. This Bluetti obviously has so many features. It has a 2400 watt inverter with over 2000 watt hours of battery time, and so we're obviously just going to put this to practical use, but I will give you a hint. This can run my air conditioner, so we're going to try it out today. So as you guys saw this morning, I could use my microwave with my Bluetti, and I styled my hair a little bit. I have now been sitting here, I'm finishing up the last little bits of my coffee, and I have been editing. So if you guys don't know, also YouTube is my full-time job and creating content for other platforms as well. And so that is why I have this beauty right here, Starlink. So I do have cell phone service at this campsite. I don't need it running 24/7, but when I am trying to upload YouTube videos, Starlink is an absolute game changer. But I am going to go back and turn on my Bluetti and turn on my Starlink, and yeah, we'll just kind of like see throughout the day all the things that I use. Usually though, I will put a disclaimer. I do have the PV 420 solar panels that can charge that large Bluetti, and on a very normal day, I will say I usually have the solar panels plugged in charging while I'm not using the Bluetti, but for the sake of seeing exactly how much power I actually use, I'm not going to do that today, but I will say in a normal world, I do that. So this is my router for the Starlink, and the nice part about having the whole camper plugged in is I can just plug straight into my outlet on the wall of the camper instead of having to bring the Bluetti inside. And in about 5 minutes or so, my Starlink will be up and running. So while the Starlink is booting up, it fluctuates in time. So if you can see here, it's really nice that you can see like how long it can run for. So once it levels out, it usually stays around 50 watts for the Starlink just by itself. So that gives me 20 something hours of charge, which is really nice to be able to use it. Like I said, I'm just plugging this into the 30 amp. Obviously there are regular outlets in here and USB ports and those 12 volt ports and things like that. But I don't really use it like that. I just plug the camper straight into it, so I don't have to move this around very much. Normally I actually even have it plugged in because the sun is strong enough that it would be charging, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna let this run. Here is the smaller set of panels I have, the PV 200, and these just have a cord that go from the back, and it comes around to the side of the camper, where this is just directly plugged into the solar pre-wire. I did have to get an adapter. I've talked about that before because of the way that this was already pre-wired, but that stays in plugged in during the day so we can harness the power of the sun. Hello, checking back in. Oh, it's Pippa. There she is. All right, it is 11:52. It's lunchtime for me. I'm starving. And so I have an air fryer. I have a crock pot. Both work obviously with the Bluetti. So I'm just going to microwave this. It's like a little rice bowl, like Chipotle knockoff. Let's go check to see now, after the Starlink has been running for a couple hours, what we're at percentage wise. All right, so the Starlink has been going for a couple hours. I still have 74%, so obviously we're good to go. The sun is setting right now at like 5 o'clock. So for it to be noon and I still have 75% left pretty much. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to microwave this for like 3 minutes or whatever it is. I'm gonna be pretty good to go for the rest of the day. Okay, so because we have so much battery left, I'm gonna do like a little experiment. It is almost 2 o'clock now. It is like a little warm in here, but there are some clouds in the sky that are helping cool things down a bit. But I want to see exactly how much power the air conditioning uses if I run it, say, for an hour and letting it kick on and off. And I'm going to set it at like a reasonable temperature for it to maintain like 68 to 70 degrees. All right, I set it to 70. It's kicked on and it's blowing. Okay, it's blowing and it's cooling down. Let's go check the Bluetti. Okay, so right now it's pulling about 1600 watts. I mean, obviously a little bit over. And it says that I can run it at an hour, basically, if it stays on. But you know how they work, they kick on and off. So it's on right now. And I will check back in at 3 o'clock to tell you how it goes. Okay, it's been a second. It's 3:29. I got a little distracted. This ran, I counted, for like 34 minutes total. So we are at 21%. We still have the Starlink going. So that's not great, obviously, to lose 40% of your battery just to run the air conditioning. But like I said, it's just so nice to have the option literally at all to run the air conditioning without a gas generator that I'll take it. I'll take the little cool down any day. Obviously I travel with the weather, so it's not as big of an issue for me, but for days like this, to be able to run it and cool it down at the end of a hot day is nice. So I actually have one thing that I can put in the air fryer to test one last little bit of detail. So I'm gonna throw something in the air fryer. We'll do that for a second, and then that'll be our last thing for tonight, because I'm gonna cook dinner on the stove using propane, and I have my iPad that I'm gonna watch TV on tonight. I'm not actually gonna leave the TV plugged in, so this is gonna be like the last little bit of power I use for the day. Okay, so this is the air fryer I have. It's a really simple one from Walmart. I think it was like $20. And so we're gonna plug this directly into the camper again. There we go. I forgot I had these in the back of my fridge, and they're little pancake bites. I put 4 of these in for a little, you know, afternoon snack, and we'll see how the Bluetti does. Okay, so I've got my little pancake bites in there, and I'm just gonna set this for like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and see how the Bluetti does. Yum! So the little air fryer runs about 1100 watts. So yeah, we're really pushing it. We're almost to 0. I've almost used all of my power for the day by not having it charged while we're using it. Okay, these needed less time than I thought, because this one's starting to get a little crisp on the outside. So let's pull these out. All right, so I have my little bites here. They're nice and warm and like crisp on the outside. Woo! And this is off. So let's go check the Bluetti for a final count. Okay, so we're ending the day with like 18%. It's 4 o'clock, so we made it throughout most of the daylight hours. And like I said, if I had the solar panels plugged in all day, charging while I wasn't running other things, we would actually have a lot more to use at the end of the night. But the 18% will get me my Starlink throughout the night, and anything else that if I need to microwave something or whatever, I'll have plenty of power to do it. And then I get to eat these delicious little bites. So good. Thanks, Blue Yeti, for hooking me up with all this amazing stuff to be able to run my camper off-grid all day. Obviously, I'm going to leave everything linked in the description of all the Blue Yeti products I use, and obviously check out anything else that, you know, you may need from them. With the holidays, they always have something going on with around their new launches, so don't forget to check that description box for any updates, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!